dan a salwantar da rayuwar mutum, rayuwa ba za ta yi da haka ba. In abun nan ba na tsakanin da Allah bane, za a yi kowa ya jaye hannun shi kawai. In ana ganin kamar karfin yaƙi zai samar da zaman lahiya, ga hili ga mai doki. Shekara na tun da ake bala'in, duk wani security ba wanda bai yi kokarin shi ba akan wannan matsalai, ko ba gaskiya ba. To yanzu mutanen nan da aka anso tun da ake bala'in, ku gaya man jami'an tsaron da kuka taba tura ya an so muku daidai da mutum 20 ko 30 a hannun irin mutanen mu ta karfin yaki, ku gaya man su babu, ko ba gaskiya ba. Amma wannan ta maslaha aka bi, kuma ga su an bada su. To dan haka nan
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ, ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. ẹni òfò.
I mean, it is ridiculous, right? And somehow it is as funny as it is also disgraceful when armed terrorists tells you that they also want peace. We also want peace in the land. We want to exist with everybody in peace. How do you exist in peace with terrorists? Like, everybody's just going to pretend that they are not what? They are not terrorists. What exactly, or what exactly would you say is the offense, the crime, or the sins of those Nigerians they kidnapped, young and old? What would anybody say is their sin? That these armed terrorists took them, killed some of them. And now that terrorist is there to say, you know what? I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I'm going to give them back to you because I also want us to live in peace. Mr. Terrorist, what exactly is your business? Because these people were living in peace. Yeah, they are existing in peace before you brought your violence and disrupted their life, you and your sponsor. So, hello, imagine a terrorist telling you that they are also interested in peace. That's why they are giving this back now. So what are they going to go back and do? Kidnap different other people. And why we do that? We don't want anybody to touch us. So we don't want anybody to come and interfere in our business. So, I mean, what is the business of the terrorists? They are still holding their guns. Didn't you see that? They still all have their guns. Did you see all the kind of guns they are holding or wielding? That's Nigeria. Yeah? So it is religion. It is trying to an act of subjugation. And I even found a clip I want to share with you. It's been online a while, right? Somebody who seemed to be so vast in the role the British played that brought about this, Fulani hegemony and on and on and on. He sort of put it in a way I want you to listen.
Well, since 1970, I went to Nigeria in 70.
Okay. If you'd please like to just give me a bit of insight that you gave me earlier on with regard to Nigeria and the whole politics and the issues that we're having today. It'd be really interesting to get an angle from you on what exactly happened.
Well, for me, the problem today, wow, it goes back to the Muslim conquest of the north with Usman Dan Fodio and the Fulani Hausa conquest of the north, and the north becomes Muslim. And when the British colonized the north in 1900, what do we, the British, do? We very cleverly rule with a few hundred district officers through the Muslim emirs. It was the best thing that ever happened to Islam in Nigeria. Because before then, if you were a Muslim, you went, say, to the Tiv area, what would happen? You'd be dead. Under the British, you could go as a Muslim trader and you could live and you could spread your message of Islam. So the British enabled Islam to spread in Nigeria, and the British stopped the spread of Christianity because Lugard kept missionaries out of the north. He only let missionaries go to the parts that were not under Muslim rule, like the Jos Plateau. So the Christian church in the Middle Belt thrived in areas that had never been conquered by the House of Fulani? Why are there huge areas of the north of Nigeria depopulated today? The answer is jihad. Because those who weren't enslaved by the House of Fulani or conquered by the House of Fulani, they either died by the sword or they fled to the hills, like the plateau, like the Gwoza Hills in Bornu. And in those hills, when I was there in the 1970s, there were no Muslims, none whatsoever. The people followed African traditional religion and were dwelling Christians. Because down on the plain, it was the Muslim Kanuri, and they're the ones that slave raided. So what's going on today in the Middle Belt? It's nothing to do with herdsmen and farmers. It's nothing to do with Muslim herdsmen, nomadic Fulani, and settled Christian farmers. No, and it's certainly nothing to do with climate change driving out the Fulani. This is quite simply jihad. This is just an extension of Usman Dan Fodio's jihad by other means. But nobody in England dare call it jihad because they're all shit scared of being called Islamophobic. Well, I'm not. I don't hate any Muslims, but I think Islam is of the devil and it has to rule, and it must rule Nigeria. Islam a religion of peace? Don't make me laugh. Where is Islam a religion of peace? Where Islam rules. Where it doesn't, that is the region of war. That is Islamic theology. That's what this is. So those who are for violent jihad, in my view, they have the historic pedigree in Islam. They're the Salafists. Now, Islam is a broad church. Islam encompasses all lots of people. Most Muslims are not terrorists. But the people who are around us today, here and in Nigeria, who are terrorists, by and large are Muslims, and a particular kind of Muslims. They are violent Wahhabi Salafists. When I say that, I won't have some idiot accusing me of Islamophobia. They should credit me with a little knowledge of Islam, its history and theology. This isn't about Muslims versus Christians. It's about Islam must rule, Islam must triumph. And that's the case in Nigeria, and it's the case here too. Except here they can be a bit quieter.
Now, in fairness, right, there are indeed those who believe that, you see, majority of Muslims do not assign to the ideology of violence. But you see this particular Salafist, this Wahhabism, the ones who are also killing Muslims, because to them, there are the other Muslims except them, they are not real Muslims. The violence of what they are pushing in northern Nigeria, that they are making to look like a jihad, right? Itself is not just a jihad. And okay, should I say it's not a jihad for Islam per se. Their jihad right now is about mineral resources control. And the only way they could possibly do that, the way they are doing in Nigeria, is to keep unleashing violence. And that's why, if you have followed their modus operandi, right, those who seemed to be backing them, they believed that they are fighting jihad, especially those jihadist Islamic scholars in northern part of Nigeria, who believes that, well, the moment those who are Christians or non-Muslims, the infidels, they are wiped off or killed. Because, don't get me wrong, there's a section of them, they call the Wahhabists or so, right? There's a section of them that strongly believe in that jihad, and that jihad to them makes non-Muslims infidel. And once you are an infidel, you are considered to be worse than, I don't know, like cockroach or something. Like you are nothing. Do you get that now? Now, mixing that up with the drive with the attempt to drive the indigenous people out of their land, right? And those ones you capture, you sell them off as slaves. So then you have the government on the other hand, who possibly is aware of all of this. They are aware. But for political exigencies or something, as well as for their own political advantage or disadvantage, they have to tread carefully while Nigerians are being traded like commodity. You get what I mean? Like if you go hunting, you probably kill, you go hunting, you kill some game, different animals and all that, right? Or you capture some of them alive and you decided to put price on them. Oh, this one is $15,000. That one is 10,000. The other one is 40,000. You know, that's the way they are trading Nigerians, poor Nigerians who are struggling in these rural communities. They have been left so vulnerable, so open that these terrorists have built different camps and they are controlling communities. Their areas are called ungoverned area. Government knows the places across northern Nigeria, ungoverned areas. And guess what? They are also keeping this information away from their own citizens by telling them that everything is fine, everything has improved, security is getting better, this and that. But to make mockery of that, to put falsehood like on that, is when you watch videos like that. Videos of terrorists, young and old, wielding dangerous weapons in the presence of government officials, military officials. These images are enough to tell you everything you need to know, even if they are feeding you propaganda morning, afternoon, and night. Now, it doesn't touch you, doesn't mean that it won't. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. And that is why this guy, Ben Duikun, Ashiwaju Mopo, Abina, the commander of the Ashiwaju soldiers, Dayo Israel, is a RCCG pastor. He has put out a post asking anyone, asking anyone who is very good in propaganda, right, to send their CV to him because he wants to hire personal assistants on propaganda. This Mugu actually put that on Twitter. Let me see if I can read it. It said, breaking news. APC National Youth Leader to appoint special assistant on propaganda affairs across geopolitical zones, as well as set up positive propaganda units at the youth house. Begin scouting and identification of brilliant young minds as the youth wing prepares for 2027 re-election of President Bola Thiefnubu. Do you have what it takes? Are you a committed progressive? Views? Do you believe in President Bola Thiefnubu? Then send your profile and a short video of you in action or your write-up with a cover letter. So they are investing more in propaganda. Like, I feel like the kind of overconfidence that they have, the level of impunity that they have become so used to, right? And of course, the level at which they are looking at Nigerians in a very much condescending way is going to be their doom. Every one of them that speaks, the way they talk, right? They believe that those of you who complain about them, which many of you, you are considered as, dishonest and haters who just didn't like them. No matter what they did, you would never like them. So they created their own alternative world, a place where whenever they are addressing you, they feel like they have their audience. Here you get. If not, somebody who is the youth leader of a propagandist party, gaslighting party that will gaslight you, and you begin to wonder and say, am I the problem? Am I the only one who is not seeing anything? I don't know what's going on. Am I not in this Nigeria? Am I in another Nigeria? They say, you are the one in another Nigeria. You are blind. You can't see all the progress, all the good things coming down. Sort of, yeah? So that propagandist party, their youth leader who furnished an apartment in Abuja, and they called it Youth House, where they have all kinds of indoor games like snooker, the pool game. They've got this ping pong table tennis. They have PS4 room, game room, and then they have a place they call the podcast room where they have camera. All of this to sell the idea of the APC, Egbekegbe by Pastor Dayo Israel. Benduiku. So now he has boldly written kind of like announced as breaking news that they need to set up propaganda unit. Positive propaganda unit, right? So all you have to do is just show that you can do propaganda, but your propaganda can be positive. It is similar to when government who is trying to control your speech, right, decided to say your speech is hate speech. And they say, how do you define hate speech? Is it the speech that you hate will be called hate speech? Or there's actually a definition of, because if I say something you don't like right now, right, and you hate it, so you can automatically say my speech is hate speech. And if you have the power to put me in prison, then you do it. That's what the Ronukus are proposing in that contraption. All these people they're supposed to have arrested. I don't know why government cannot even arrested all these people. All these people spreading information that all these people call it Thiefnubu druggy. They should have arrested. If I was Thiefnubu, I would have arrested all of them. The Ronuku's fantasy. You understand? So if I don't like what you just said right now, I go put you for jail because of hate speech. Then propaganda. When they tell you, right, that the Thiefnubu's regime had defeated the terrorism and the insecurity, everything is back to normal. People can travel to wherever they want. There's no more kidnapping. And you know it's a lie. So in the government parlance, that is propaganda. Do you get that now? So propaganda, the number one person who tells you lies every day, every hour of the day is the Thiefnubu's regime. Every hour of the day, they lie to you. So I believe that their effort in saying they want to put propaganda out is another way of getting themselves ready, hiring the young people, weaponizing them, okay, to use them for different propaganda. They pay people, they pay them 50,000, 100,000 naira. Yeah, they will charge you for cyberbullying. You are bullying the government. You know, it's like saying, now we're supposed to lie. We're supposed to tell you that you will have 24 hours electricity by the end of 2026, 2025. And then you get to the beginning of 2026 and you say, where is the electricity? You these liars. Eh? They will say, you are bullying us. So do you know that what you are doing is a crime? You are bullying government. How dare you say that, like, we didn't give you electricity? Do you know how much we spent on the electricity? Do you know that in 2025, electricity generated in Nigeria was 4,500? But as at December 2025, they are now generating 4,510. Do you know what it takes to generate extra 10 megawatts? And you said the government has not done anything. Yeah. Hey, is there no difference between 4,500 and 4,510? They will gaslight you. We say, no, not be failure. How not take use $1.5 billion to get 10 megawatts? Where the 10 megawatts? The Ronokus and their account will just say, we get electricity. We have been having electricity for the past 6 months. Honestly speaking, Ashwaju is working. Another one will come and say, man, I didn't believe it at first. Man, we have been having people we no get also, we no get anything. No. So people who are already running propaganda are going to hire more of you. And all they have to do is just put the title on it. Special advisor to APC National Youth Leader.